country. And now someone, I was told by my staff not to do any background on these folks, but someone who's been involved in major manufacturing in our country for probably as long, if not longer, than any of the members of Congress in a very, very effective way, represents an extraordinary tradition of a Dingell in the Congress of the United States, who have always spoken up very, very strongly for American manufacturing. Mrs. Debbie Dingell, Congresswoman Dingell from Michigan.
Thank you, Mr. Hoyer, and I thank you very much to all of you and my colleagues for coming together to talk about such a critical subject to America. And my testimony this afternoon is turning out to be timely due to some unfortunate news and showing why this subject is so important, and to be here with my two colleagues, both of whose states I've actually been in the last year, and associate myself with all of the comments that they've made. But manufacturing has been the backbone of our nation's economy, and the auto industry has been a big part of it. I'm a car girl, born and bred, proud of it. But as Henry Ford recognized in offering the revolutionary $5 workday, manufacturing jobs have been a pathway for the middle class for millions of families for decades. Nearly 100 years later, manufacturing jobs, especially in the auto industry, continue to provide hardworking families a chance to earn a fair wage and to get ahead. But we have a lot of challenges to face and to providing opportunity to everyone. And as I left the floor today, I learned that Ford Motor Company is going to be moving production of two vehicles, the Focus and the C-Max, out of their Michigan assembly plant in Michigan, 4,000 jobs to Mexico. To quote the Detroit Free Press, the move comes as a host of automakers are building new plants in Mexico instead of the U.S. And Ford's only comment was, it's going to produce those vehicles where it's the most competitive. Small cars like the Focus, you can tell I'm upset, because we just passed a bill on the House floor that didn't address currency manipulation. And until we do, we're going to start seeing more jobs and jobs going to Mexico. Since we have passed, NAFTA, and since we passed the Korea Free Trade Agreement, both of which I supported, we have lost 5 million jobs in this country, and the profit on them is right down to what that currency manipulation is. We're most vulnerable to unfair trade practices. We can't afford to have our small car production and the jobs it creates keep going overseas. We need to support our workers by putting a stop to currency manipulation that gives them an unfair advantage. The reality is Toyota makes more in currency manipulation in the United States than Ford did in their worldwide operations last year. That's wrong. We've got to have strong enforcement protections against currency manipulation. It needs to be a pillar of all of our trade agreements, and I sure hope that when TPP comes to the floor, those people that say they care about it are going to look long and hard at that bill before they support it. But in addition to combating currency manipulation, there are other things that we can do to help new companies create manufacturing jobs in the U.S. Associating myself with both of my other colleagues' comments, one successful program has been the creation of the National Network for Manufacturing Innovation. We, like others, have one in Michigan where we work together. I didn't sit on a helicopter with the president either, but all of us pulled together in the business academic community, working together to get in with our government to get that located in Michigan. And the Lightweight Innovations for Tomorrow Institute opened 6 months ago as a partnership between the Navy and nearly 50 other government, academic, and private sector entities. And this institute's studying difficult 21st century questions like the challenges of joining dissimilar metals and manufacturing thinner, stronger, lightweight parts, which is critical for us to understand in a global marketplace. We've got to do more to support emerging manufacturers, too. We lost the flat screen technology because the reality is other countries are more supportive with their policies. They give tax incentives, they give capital. Here it is difficult to find capital. As a result, critical benefits of having our nation lead a new generation of products to market are lost, and the benefits that are gained by other nations. Scaling up advanced manufacturing projects is different than many other industries. Silicon Valley is awash in venture capitalists and other private sector funders, but emerging manufacturers often do not have access to that similar capital structure. There are a number of reasons, but unlike apps that don't require a lot of capital, construction of a new production facility requires a big capital commitment, up to $100 million. And the payback timeline is often 10 years, whereas non-manufacturing projects require less capital and have much shorter payback timelines. Manufacturing's always been the heart of Michigan, and it's going to stay that way. We've got to fight to keep it there. It built the middle class, and we owe our young entrepreneurs and manufacturers to help them build their businesses here in the United States. In 2014, the President's Advanced Manufacturing Partnership recommended we establish a public-private partnership to provide funding to scale up manufacturing projects. A fund like this could be modeled after the successful Transportation Infrastructure Finance and Innovation Act or the Small Business Investment Company models, which combine public and private funds with a market-driven mechanism to select recipients. We've got to join together. We've got to fight to keep these jobs in our country. There are many other things we could do. I could talk about it all afternoon. But we owe it to our next generation of manufacturers, to the hardworking men and women to keep jobs in America. Thank you. I'm just upset. 4,000 jobs.
I love Debbie Dingell, folks, and I love her because of her passion, her focus, and her extraordinary knowledge.